Welcome back to Falcon Sports Weekly. Kevin Winter with you here on WCUW The Talent, FM 101.3, Channel 9. Last week we brought you a segment having to do with Athletic Training Month here for the month of March. For those of you who did not know it, Concordia University, Wisconsin has an athletic training program here on campus, and right now we have two students who are here with us in studio to discuss what they do during the day. We have David Gonzalez and Amelia Jordan with us. Happy to have both of you along.
Thank you, Kevin.
And last week, we had a bit of a trivia question that Christy and David brought. Christy is unable to be with us here today, but we're happy to have Amelia along. David, refresh our listeners what that trivia question is.
The trivia question was, what are the 7 things that an athletic trainer will have in their med kit?
Okay. What are the 7 things that an athletic trainer will have in their med kit?
The 7 things are gauze, SAM splint, medical insurance forms, white tape, ACE wrap, gloves, and hydrogen peroxide.
Okay. I got, the tape and all of that. That's layman's terms, but there's a few of them in there that I was like, What are they?
Okay, well, as the hydrogen peroxide we'll use to clean up blood and to disinfect wounds that might be caused from scratches during athletic events. The SAM splint is used for fractures to stabilize the bone. Medical insurance forms we'll need in case of an emergency when we might need to send somebody to the hospital.
Although we don't want to do that very often, do we?
No, we don't.
Have you ever had to do that?
We actually have. I was at a sporting event here on campus, and we had to send 2 of our athletes to the hospital.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, you've got to... does that cover all of them?
That does.
All right, so those are the 7 things that you need in your kit if you want to be a successful athletic training student and an athletic trainer in general. And we thank those of you who participated in our trivia contest. And it's a shameless plug for my Twitter account and our Facebook page here at Falcon Sports Weekly. For those of you who don't know, my Twitter account is Golden Voice CUW. There's my shameless Twitter plug that I usually get in at least once an hour here on our show. But we do have a new member of our group that's with us here today. Amelia is here. And you are also a junior in the program, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right, we'll start with something simple here. Why do you want to be an athletic trainer?
I want to be an athletic trainer because I enjoy watching the athletes get back to their sport. It's very gratifying when you see someone injured and then watching them go back out and play.
Have you played? Did you play sports yourself?
Yes, I played volleyball in high school.
Okay, so you're aware of what a lot of these athletes are going through on a daily basis, and that's part of the reason why you got back into it?
Yes.
All right. So you said that the most rewarding part is helping athletes get back to their regular sports. Is there any particular challenges that this job presents?
Yes, if an athlete has a serious injury, there can also be some mental problems that you have to cross, getting them through like a depression or something if they're not able to get back as quick as they want, or if they have a setback from playing too hard one day when we should have took it a little easier.
Are there certain techniques that you guys use to kind of help them through that process?
We like to switch up our rehab, make sure it's not the same every day, make sure they're not getting bored. We can also refer them to our counseling staff here on campus if they need a little extra mental help, and just keep them part of the team, keep them active with the rest of their teammates.
For those who, I guess, don't really realize it, the mental part of the game is a very, very important part to the game, and you hear all kinds of different issues, specifically on the football side of things, where there's a lot of issues with, like you just said, the depression and all of that stuff that's on the forefront, particularly with all the issues that we've been having with concussions and all of that. But Concordia University, Wisconsin prides itself on doing all of those particular tests in conjunction with the NCAA, and that process is a little bit lengthy, is it not?
It is.
What sorts of things do the students have to do to be cleared when they do have some sort of a head injury?
Well, first we do an initial evaluation to see how many symptoms they have, see how the severity of the concussion is, and then day by day we rate their symptoms, and once they're symptom free, they have to go through the evaluation, make sure that everything else is good, their balance, their cognitive skills, and then we start them on a slow progression. First day is just a nice little warm up on the bike or elliptical, and then the next day is a little bit harder of a cardio, and then finally we get them to non-contact practice and then contact practice, and then they're good to go as long as they have no symptoms.
And those symptoms are always good symptoms. Now, David, there are different fields that you guys can work in as well. It's not just treating athletes. There's a few more areas that you guys are involved in as well that most people aren't necessarily aware of.
Yes, that's true, Kevin. We can work in a hospital clinic, especially in post-operative rehab areas. Anybody who's had like an ACL injury and then goes in for surgery is going to need rehab soon after. And we can work with those patients, whether or not it's athlete or just a regular citizen who's coming in, somebody who has a very active life. We can help them get back on their feet, get back to their active daily lives. We also work in many different fields as far as high schools, colleges, and professional fields. We can work with the military, especially at boot camps. You're going to have a lot of guys that might come in with severe injuries or even minor injuries that are going to be taken care of during boot camp. We can also work in the industrial field. So somebody who's working at a plant comes in, pulled a back muscle. We can work with people like that.
That's all areas that can apply to more than one portion of the population. It's not just the quote-unquote jocks, as they say. You guys play a big part in every facet of everyday life, and including my own. As we mentioned last week, I have been a part of the athletic training clinic for the last 3 years now that I've been on campus here, and I have to say that every member of the athletic training staff have been nothing but courteous to me in helping me get back to where I need to be as far as physical condition is concerned, because for those of you who don't know, I do have a condition called cerebral palsy, so that does affect the daily gross motor function of my body, and it affects certain things that I do in my daily life, like walking around and that sort of thing. And I can do a lot of those things, but without the help of the people in the physical therapy department or the athletic training department, I wouldn't necessarily be able to do that on my own. So I do want to thank the athletic training department for all of their work that they have done over the last couple of years and continue to do to help me get back to my daily activities, because without them I wouldn't be able to do certain things like this. Now, getting into a studio like this is not necessarily a problem, but for those of you who have been following this show, my goal is to become a play-by-play announcer, and that requires me to walk up a flight of stairs, and without the help of the athletic training program here at Concordia University, Wisconsin, that would not be happening for this particular DJ or this particular talk show host, I guess. We're not hosting a music hour, but for those of you coming up next, we do have a couple of music shows that are coming up right after us, and we've got music shows all throughout the week here on WCUW The Talent. Check out our log on the WCUW The Talent Facebook page, and you will find the link posted by our station manager, Matthew Doty, for all of our shows. But again, we want to thank the Concordia University Wisconsin Athletic Training Department for their continued support. And once again, it is Athletic Training Month and throughout the month of March. And is there any final thoughts that you two want to get in here before I let you go?
No, just thank you for having us on the show again and for letting us be able to tell the public what it is we actually do. Feel free to come in the AT room anytime you guys are injured. We'll take a look at you, whether you're an athlete, active person, or you just fell out of bed and twisted an ankle. We'll take a look at it for you.
Fell out of bed and twisted an ankle. I think we had one of those students who came. I was in the AT room earlier this morning, and I think we had one of those students that just sort of kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, as they say. So, you know, any daily common injury is something that can be looked at by our staff here at Concordia University, Wisconsin, and they are certainly more than willing to help out. Thank you very much for coming back on our show here today once again. It is Amelia Jordan and David Gonzalez joining us here once again. We will be back with more Falcon Sports Weekly after this on WCUW The Talon, FM 101.3, Channel 9.